Now at 5, prison time for the man who threw a boy over a Mall of America balcony.
Something really bad must have happened to you for you to want to do this to a sweet, innocent little boy.
The message today from the boy's family. Then, why some say it's a good thing that a navigation center for the homeless is shutting down. And Laura Becker explains why this lightning bolt looks like Wisconsin. Plus, what happened here? Randy explains this mishap on the golf course. The news starts now.
Right now at 10, could we soon say goodbye to drive-thrus in Minneapolis? The push to ban them for new restaurants, banks, and drugstores, and what you think about it.
The toll a trade battle with China is taking on the financial markets.
A big warm-up this week, when it could hit 80 and when we could see some storms.
Then urban coyotes putting pets in the metro in danger. What to do if you spot one. The news starts now.
It's Lauren now with some other headlines. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar is filing for divorce from her second husband, Ahmed Hersi, the father of her 3 children. She cited an irretrievable breakdown of the marriage relationship in court papers. Thinking about a Florida vacation anytime soon? Well, that nasty red tide is back in the Naples area. The algae kills fish and causes respiratory problems in people. Last year, high levels closed several Gulf Coast beaches. And we're staying in Florida for our last story. This woman being taken off a Delta flight actually got through security and on the plane without a ticket or an ID. A passenger figured it out when the woman was in her seat. The plane returned to the gate to rescreen everyone. Delta, of course, says it's investigating.
In this corner house in La Crosse, Wisconsin, a grandfather clock gives beat to many a grandmother's craft.
I turned 11 on January 5th, Saturday.
Jonah Larson has 2 grandmothers.
Yep.
They just don't crochet. 5 hours a day. Jennifer Larson is Jonah's mom.
Been doing it for half my life.
Sometimes he gets up early before I even get up, and he's at the table crocheting at like 6 in the morning.
Morning and night.
I'm going to sleep now, Mom, but underneath that cover, there's his crochet hooks and a flashlight.
A light first lit when Jonah discovered in a bag of discarded craft items his aunt's crochet hook, which led him to YouTube.
Found basic stitch video, and from there on I was hooked.
Hooked. Seriously?
He made a dishcloth for his first project, and he made it perfectly.
That's the first hat Jonah made. He was 5.
Here's a personal favorite. It's my sunset afghan with a border I made.
He's a crochet prodigy.
It's a Scandinavian throw.
I think you were about 8 when you made that one.
Jonah's mom posted the first of several of his projects on Instagram.
It was a afghan he made of 800 flowers. He was probably 7 at the time. You had that group that was absolutely fascinated, then you had the doubters. What? You gotta be kidding me. There's no way that kid did that.
Hi fellow crocheters. Today in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make these adorable baby shoes.
Today, Jonah has thousands of social media followers, his own catchphrase,
Goodbye and crochet away.
and a cowl neck trend he started by crocheting one for his mom.
Thousands of people started making it, and they just referred to it as the Jonah cowl.
Jonah also gets fan mail,
It being Minnesota.
mail and gifts from around the world.
Dear Jonah, you are an inspiration to so many people. These are some nice colors.
One day I came home and there was 5 boxes about this size on our porch. I do have a picture of that. Once we dumped all that yarn out, Jonah's sitting in the middle of it.
But the kid who may as well have 1,000 out-of-town grandmas started his life alone.
Yeah.
That's Jonah at the orphanage in Ethiopia after he was abandoned as a newborn by his mother.
There was a really high possibility he would have some cognitive delay. He was very sick. He was malnourished.
Yeah. Lucked out.
Jonah, adopted by the Larsons at 5 months,
A baby afghan.
now has in his grasp his own slice of the American dream.
My family, my 2 dogs, and crocheting.
Jonah's favorite time? Crocheting with his mom close by, keeping tabs on the hundreds of orders for his work, a yarn company sponsorship offer,
Text him real quick.
and an upcoming national talk show appearance.
We would fly you and Jonah in on the 30th.
All while mastering advanced 9th grade algebra in the 6th grade, with bigger plans ahead.
I'm planning on attending West Point, the academy, and then becoming a surgeon.
A surgeon.
This is kind of helping me prep for that.
Dr. Jonah Larson's patients will be in good hands.
Well, when you only have a short time, you got to make the most of it.
That's true.
Boyd Hubert, KARE 11 News, La Crosse, Wisconsin. He's still learning. Remember that. As you meet Elliot Tanner, 10 years old.
5x squared plus 7y squared plus 9z squared.
And just getting started.
I think we have to kind of step out of the box sometimes to realize that this isn't a normal situation.
Not normal at Normandale Community College.
Z is equal to x squared minus y squared.
For a 10-year-old to be enrolled in Calculus 3.
Like cosine U, sine V.
Having already aced college algebra, statistics, physics, and trigonometry.
Plus 7y squared, where y is a squared.
Not normal.
Hey, Elliot.
Even then.
Rolled over at 4 weeks old.
It just started happening really, really quick.
Patrick and Michelle are Elliot's parents.
It's just us trying to keep up.
Words at 7 months, short sentences by a year. The alphabet before he was 2.
And then he learned it in Swedish right after that, just for the heck of it, I guess.
6 times 3?
18.
But Elliot's true love?
24.
6 times
numbers.
He would have these little magnetic numbers, and they were his little like loveys instead of stuffed animals. By 3, he was doing addition with them on the play rug in his room.
This is 20 plus 20 and makes 40.
Elliot's only failure? Kindergarten.
When everybody else was talking about superheroes, he wanted to talk about a particle accelerator.
So his parents looked to homeschooling, then online classes.
And he just consumed curriculum faster than I could buy it. He was done with algebra in a month, done with geometry in 2 weeks.
After breezing through the high school curriculum,
all right, go for it.
At 10, Elliot has a 4.0 GPA.
I just like using logical reasoning.
As he nears the end of his sophomore year of college.
You probably know a lot more about it than I do.
So it's actually a capital X.
Oh.
Michelle waits for her son to check in.
Hello. Hi.
Between classes.
I advocated for myself and I got some more points on an assignment.
Awesome job.
At home, Elliot relaxes with his guitar.
4.
And plays with his neighborhood friends. And it's not like he won't have a high school experience.
I'm tutoring some of the students here.
Remember, Elliot's here to answer any questions.
You take the inverse of this one.
Today, Elliot's helping teach Bloomington Kennedy's
X minus
pre-calculus students.
Oh, here's the problem. It's that you defined f of x twice. I just take great pleasure in teaching people.
He should be in elementary school. And he's way above my high school students that are about to graduate.
Because it's a discontinuity, the limit does not exist.
Okay. He's just part of the class. Yeah, he just kind of like he's dancing again right now.
He's just a super sweet kid.
We're not pushing, we're being pulled. You know, he's taking us for a ride.
dx dz gives us y.
And soon Elliot's ride will be taking another turn.
From z.
He's already visited the University of Minnesota, where he plans to start his junior year this fall.
I don't know how exactly this works, but I want to at least get a doctorate.
10 years old.
I think I'm ready for the next step. I want to know the deepest secrets of the universe.
I want him to have the world and whatever he wants, and as long as he continues to be a kind person and follows his heart, I think he's going to be just fine.
Don't worry.
Still learning.
Don't worry about
the only way Elliot knows how to play it.
It's gonna be alright.
Just want him to be happy. That's what it's all about.
It's gonna be alright.
Boyd Hupert, KARE 11 News, St. Louis Park.
I met Tim at Wild Mountain Ski Area. He was the local ambulance, and I was injured pretty severely there. We joked about it for years later, that he rescued me. I loved his yearning for public service. He wanted to help. We were together 14 years. It went far too quickly.
Sometimes you come in with things, but there's this psychological trauma. I think that's the main driver. I'll never say it's the sole thing. It isn't. There's people that witness unbelievable trauma and pain and suffering of others, yet come out seemingly unscathed. Maybe you get repeated calls to the same people over and over. It's called compassion fatigue. These repetitive things, the traumas from people you identify with, or you identify to your family, or it's the big things, the 35W bridge.
I still remember him coming home after a car accident, and he was holding a child that had been in the accident, and he said, all I saw was our son's face, and it just really hit him hard. And there's times 6 months later, he'd still say, you know, this is still on my mind or bugging me, like as it just happened today. It's the funny thing with trauma, bad stuff, it comes back.
When they encounter one of these very unpleasant calls that kind of leaves a mark, what we're trying to do with MnFire is not only support it and react when it happens, but also very, very importantly, is be proactively providing education, prevention, and support and research and stop it from happening. It's like fire prevention is a much better strategy than fire response.
Welcome everyone, and thanks for your interest and your dedication to the cause. This is a very important mission. We know that changing the culture matters.
Every one of us has that superhero mentality, and we don't think it's going to happen to us, therefore we ignore it until somebody pesters us enough to go after it and actually take care of it. And usually by that time it's too late.
Half of all firefighters, think about dying. Think about suicide, right? So if it's not you, it's the person sitting next to you, and 20% of those people are making a plan, thinking about how they actually want to go through with it. What we know from the research on first responders is that they attempt suicide 6 to 10 times more than the rate in the general population.
We were trying anything to try to get this happiness back in his life. The day he died, he literally left that morning for work. I wouldn't have told you that was the day that he was going to leave us, because I thought, okay, he's doing all right today. And I hear a knock at the door, still not even thinking anything, and as soon as I saw the cop and the look on her face, I even said to her, I said, something's wrong, and she says, yeah, why don't you sit down? And told me that they had found him. Hardest thing you have to tell your kids is, you know, your dad's not coming back.
We need people to understand that getting help when you have psychological trauma is important. If I'm helping you, I have to be healthy. I need to make sure I'm okay. And I think that's just my duty as a responder.
You can do it.
When you've been judged
Settle your shoulders.
as the second best all-around gymnast in the country, you must know a few things
Nice.
about balance.
get tight.
Sunisa Lee has always found her best balance
God.
with her dad.
Me and my dad definitely have the closest bond out of everyone in my family.
Suni's dad, holding his daughter and the camera at those early meets when Suni's raw talent was first getting noticed and celebrating together.
Suni Lee.
So unusual, he'd be absent last month.
See how she does that?
From the U.S. Nationals that put Suni second on the podium
Unbelievable.
behind four-time Olympic gold medalist Simone Biles.
Teenager, 16-year-old, St. Paul, Minnesota.
For nothing could have kept her dad
Look at this combo, though.
from the performance
And here's the connection.
of Suni's life until something did.
The last time I remember is I woke up in the hospital.
2 days before Suni left for nationals, her dad was on a ladder helping a friend cut a tree limb when he fell.
According to the doctor, I'm pretty much paralyzed from here down.
John Lee, Navy veteran, has spent the past 6 weeks in the Spinal Cord Injury Center at the Minneapolis VA hospital.
I told you, just go and do your thing. Don't worry about me. I'll be okay.
Same thing, head in.
While 30 minutes away, Suni is training for next month's World Championship in Germany.
Nice and tight.
All the while, balancing.
And then he kind of gives us the background.
Balancing her junior year at South St. Paul High School. Balancing her 7 daily hours at practice.
Noah, come here.
And balancing her nights at home, caring for her younger siblings,
Can you say hi?
so her mom can visit her dad at the hospital.
It's tough.
Tough.
We're proud.
Like earning a silver medal at nationals with your biggest cheerleader in intensive care.
Gorgeous combination. 3 in a row.
I wasn't in the best place, I guess, going into it, but I just gotta kind of switch gears and compete for my dad. I know that he's going through something, and it's way harder than what I'm going through right now. So I knew I had to be the best that I could be for my dad.
And tonight is looking for a podium finish.
It didn't surprise me that she was able to do it. She's just such a tough competitor. She's a tough kid.
Should Suni continue reaching her goals next year, she will become the first Hmong American to earn a place on an Olympic team.
It's been my goal for 10 years. And now it's coming up so soon.
And while Suni works,
that picks up your voice,
her dad does too.
Hello, Sunisa.
Finding even in a therapy session,
Don't worry about your dad.
an opportunity to connect with Suni.
You will go to Germany and do really, really well.
Olympic dreams
Your dad, John Lee.
do not only belong to John's daughter. If Suni makes it to Tokyo,
I would definitely be there. There's nothing stopping me. I'll crawl to Tokyo.
balance
I'm gonna see Dad.
means Suni wouldn't think about leaving for Worlds without stopping first.
Hi, Dad.
Here.
Give me.
Back and forth, low to high.
Whether you win first or not, you're still #1 in my book.
Suni Lee and her family
You got this.
Thanks.
are finding their balance
Right.
in each other.
Yeah.
Boyd Hubert, KARE 11 News,
Yeah.
Minneapolis.
Pop this hand up on your hip.
Make your living shooting portraits,
Oh, yeah.
and you've seen your share of seniors.
Beautiful.
Jackie Vaughn could fill a yearbook all her own with senior photos,
Hundreds, yeah. Yeah.
but none before has touched her
Yeah.
like this.
A high school senior, that is their moment. It's selfless.
The photo Jackie took of senior Haley Donnelly and Heather.
I appreciate her being my best friend for the years that we had together.
Haley was a 5th grader at Westwood Elementary when Heather moved to Zimmerman.
And then everything started.
Donnelly and Doucette, last names that launched years of adjoining lockers, side-by-side yearbook photos,
Her birthday.
and an ever-deepening friendship.
This one's me, that one's Heather.
Bestest of Friends, the title awarded Haley and Heather by their freshman class.
It was like an inseparable bond.
Inseparable. till last year.
She passed away February 3rd, 2018.
I-35 near Cloquet. Heather's mom driving. A patch of black ice and a rollover.
Most devastating phone call I've ever gotten in my life.
Haley,
for sure,
called her mom.
She was just screaming and crying and inconsolable.
Heather was a part of her. They were more than best friends. They were sisters.
We talked about graduating together, going to college together, everything together.
So, when it came time this fall for her senior portrait,
Oh my gosh.
Haley knew instinctively what to do.
She wanted Heather to go on this journey with her. She wanted Heather to be able to finish this journey.
Heather dressed like a princess.
She was a princess.
In a 2-year-old photo taken at her mother's wedding.
I loved her eyes.
Jackie took solo photos of Haley too.
These smoke bombs were so fun.
But then Jackie asked Haley which portrait she should send for the yearbook.
I was stunned.
Haley just pointed. She goes, that's the one I want for my senior picture.
And then I cried.
Now she'll be right there next to me in the yearbook like we've dreamed of since 5th grade.
The school has already agreed to list beneath the photo both their names.
Now she'll be in there.
In there, with the teddy bear made from Heather's favorite scarf and the rose to match her middle name.
If my daughter had passed away and her friend chose to honor her like that I can't imagine a better gift that you could give to somebody's mom.
It means the world to me.
Heather's mom.
It's been kind of bittersweet watching all of her friends posting all their senior pics. Now I got to see my baby girl on a senior photo.
And then chin down just a little? Yeah.
Hundreds of senior photos symbolizing a journey's conclusion, and one from a friendship without end.
We had each other's backs through thick and thin, and we're still together.
Boyd Hooper, KARE 11 News, Zimmerman. For the first half of its life, the Split Rock Lighthouse was a giver of illumination. But to this day, Minnesota has also never had a more distinguished light receiver.
Nope, and it never looks the same 2 days in a row. It's always a different view and different lighting.
36 years.
Yep.
That's how long Lee Radzik has not been getting tired of this view. Not been bored climbing this spiral staircase.
32 steps to the top.
Not been anything less than inspired by the history of the North Shore's treasure.
There's 160,000 people a year climb those stairs and come up in here and look at this and walk the grounds. Popular place.
Lee's place.
I was 30 years old.
30 years old when the archaeologist with the Minnesota Historical Society left the Twin Cities to become the 40th keeper of the Split Rock Lighthouse.
My wife and I had been married for 3 months, and my mother always said it's either going to make or break your marriage, and we've lasted for 36 years, so we're doing pretty well.
36 years and 2 kids who grew up with everyone else's vacation destination in their backyard.
We had a head lighthouse keeper, first assistant keeper, second assistant keeper, homes for each of them and their families.
In Lee's era, only the steps of one of the homes remained shoveled.
Just my wife and I and the cat right now.
In the desolate time of year, when the tours stop, the ghosts of Split Rock still emerge.
Pete Young was the first head keeper that served at Split Rock 1910 to 1928.
Lee won't name each of the 40 keepers.
There's Frank Koval right there.
But it seems like he could.
There we've got old Walt Johnson. He's doing that exterior painting on the foghorns.
Maintenance filled the days of the earliest keepers.
1911.
That and going out for dinner.
Shot deer in the forest just to get the mail. It was a 5-mile boat ride.
The children of the keepers grew up in the ultimate playground, just like Lee's kids.
The old and the new.
A past to present connection.
Got the skeleton keys here.
in which the keys of the first keeper now share the ring with a Toyota fob.
This place has been here 108 years. I've been here 36 years, so that's literally a third of the history of Split Rock that I've been here.
But even the longest-serving keeper,
still standing,
knows it's time to become part of Split Rock history.
April 12th is the last day of work. I always wanted to retire in the spring, so I would have a summer off.
A summer to explore other landmarks, then move south to a warmer climate, Duluth.
We don't want to get too far from the big lake. It's kind of in our blood.
Leaving this place is easier, knowing the door will still swing open.
We can come back anytime.
For Lee, Split Rock will leave a light on. Boyd Hupert, KARE 11 News, Two Harbors.